What up, fam? It's your boy, Black Innovator, coming at you again with your tailored word for the day, where we discuss business, Bible, and more. All right, so we're going to jump right into this topic. This is a topic that's near and dear to my heart. Being a disabled veteran, I'm going to discuss tips, how to go ahead and get your VA claim. I'm currently at 100%. It took a while to get there after many years of trying. I was injured in Desert Storm, medically retired and discharged in 1997, but it took a whole 20 years to finally get what my 100% disability. So there's some things I want to discuss and go over with you, how to go by getting your claim, right? So we're going to jump right into it. The first thing I want to discuss is how to go by filing your claim, right? You can file your claim in various different ways. You can file it on the internet, you can file it by phone call, or you can actually go into a VA facility and submit your claim. They take, I don't know about I guess the email would be the online platform, right? And then you can fax it in various ways. So to me, one of the easiest way to go by filing the claim, at least to get your claim started, is to just simply call them up. To call a VA and say you intend to file a claim, right? Now, you have to be very, very specific. You got to be very careful when you go to file that claim, that what you do, you have to let them know. Don't just say, I want to file a claim or I intend to file a claim. Just let them know I'm establishing my effective filing date today, at this moment, right now. And you can intend to file, but you let them know today is the day I want to start effective filing date for that claim to be recognized. Because what VA would do, and what I've experienced, what happened to me is when I called in and said I intend to file a claim or I would like to file a claim, right? So what they're going to do is they're going to mail you the documents. They're going to mail you the paperwork to file a claim. So you submit the claim, send it in, right? If you haven't established that initial contact as the effective filing date, then they're going to go with the day that they receive the claim into the office. You see what I'm saying? And that happened to me, unbeknownst to me. So when I realized, when I actually got I think this is when I was going from like 40 to maybe 60% disability, what happened was they said, oh, well, your effective filing date was this date, which was like 2 or 3 months after I actually made the initial phone call. Because when you submit the paperwork, you get it, you don't submit it right away. And this was years ago, before the internet and all that type of stuff, right? So you don't submit it right away, you kind of lollygag, and then you got to submit, you want to get your medical records and all that things in that place. So the whole time, me not knowing that they hadn't placed that effective filing date from the date of the call. So I had to go back and dispute with them and all that. So that's the first thing. You want to, when you make that call, is to say, I would like to establish this as my effective filing date. I don't care even if you're at 20%, 10%, you want to do increase. Each time you call, let them know that you would like to have that date established. Okay, so that's the filing, right? And then they got the website. You got ebenefits.com. You can, for those who are tech savvy, you can go online and file at ebenefits.com. And I recommend you create an account, because a lot of things you even get, you will find out the status of your claim before you get a letter in the mail, even before you might get a phone call. They update that, it's like instantly when they update it. So if you're connected online, you'll go ahead and get that notification immediately. Once you have established the effective filing date, so it already got a file on record. So then the next thing is, the next stage in the process is the evaluation. The evaluation. This is the part where the VA is going to evaluate you about your claim, right? So they're going to look at your medical history, your medical record, and see what are you claiming far as your disability. Now keep in mind, let me establish what a disability is. A disability is not simply an injury per se, right? It's not simply an injury. A disability is a injury or some type of substantial deformity or ailment that prohibits you from doing something, right? It prohibits you. So if you just say, I was injured, right? And they say, well, what does it stop you from doing? Oh, no, I can do everything 100%. I'm fine, but I was injured. Well, that's not a disability, right? So you want to, you got to look at it from the standpoint of when you go to file your claims, you have to let them know how is this injury is impeding on your life. What is it stopping you from doing? Okay, so that's what they're going. That's what the percentage rating is. So it's saying that if you were 100% prior to this injury, right? But because of this injury, you're now decreased, your 100% ability is decreased by this much or this percentage. It might be 20%, 30, 40, 50%. So the rating is actually whatever amount that takes away from your 100% ability to do something. Okay, so let me. I got that established. So when you go to VA for the evidence, for the evaluation process, they're going to set up appointments and time for you to go out and see the doctors and things, right? So what you have to do is you have to make sure that do not miss an appointment. I tell you, do not miss an appointment because VA, they basically give them rights to dismiss your claim, right? They may contact you to reschedule. It's funny because I just missed my first appointment after 20-some years. My first appointment got a scheduling. I don't know. I didn't record it or something, and they contacted me, right? But nothing major. But I'm saying, but you do not want to miss an appointment. So when they schedule you for the eval, to come in, you have to keep in mind, from what I just said, from the perspective of telling them how has this. What are the determining factors that in this injury that you suffered, right, while in the military, that is preventing you? What are the determining factors? So don't go, and then say, well, and talk about, and I say this, what you're doing the evals, talk as less as possible, just answer what they're asking you, right? Give them the answers. So when you go in there, case in point, I'm giving you an example, right? You say, well, what happened? I have a back injury, right? Say I have a back injury, right? So they say, well, Mr. Fields, what's going on with your back? Well, it was injured, and I was doing such and such in the military, right? So what are the problems that is causing you? Well, I get a lot of pain, discomfort, it hurts, Now they do rate pain, but it's very minimal on how they rate pain. And you go in and talk about it by say, well, sometimes I get a little stiff, this and that. Well, that's good and dandy, but I need to tell them, but because of this, I can no longer move, I can no longer stand up for long hours. I can no longer, I can't even sit down. If I sit down for too long, I started getting, stiff. I can't bend, I can't pick up heavy things. You see the difference as to talking about the pain, the injury, and the ailments, as opposed to talking about focusing on the hindrance that it's bringing on your life, because that's the only thing VA is going to recognize. Okay? All right. So even when you're in the examination, you want to now, far as the range of motion, they're going to tell you to raise your arms and bend down and do all of the things, right, to prove your range of motion. Now, according to VA standards, this was given to me directly by a retired military Navy officer who's a current physician on the outside. He actually helped me file my claim, right? So what they rate is the range of motion and to the point where you feel pain or discomfort. So what am I saying? So if you are they tell you to bend over, right? And just being a man, not even thinking, oh, I can do that. We bend over and touch our toes, right? And so they're going to rate it as full range of motion, but they're not going to tell you that bend over until there's a place of discomfort, or raise your arm into the level of discomfort or pain, right? Because that is what VA is rating at. So the minute, if you tell you to bend over and touch your toes, the minute you bend over and you feel that pain or discomfort, stop. And then come back up. Okay? Now, and then if they say, well, can you touch your toes, whatever, and say, tell them, I'm not saying don't lie, but let them know, listen, it's too painful, it's too much discomfort to do so, because that pain and discomfort that is caused by that range of motion can be a contributing factor to your disability. Okay, all right, so got that. When it comes to, the examination part, another key thing to point out, right? And this is what took me so long to get my 100%. When it comes to the examination part, I did everything through VA. I did all my examination, because all my medical records, everything was done in VA, through the VA system. So I just stayed constant with VA. But it wasn't until I went to the outside physician who specialized in VA claims, and he informed me that this was the reason why I hadn't received the 100%. Now, I'm not saying that not everybody, it's not for everybody that it happens to everybody, but to me, this is how it was. So what you might have to do, if you have an outside physician, if you have someone that's outside of VA that could evaluate you and genuinely tell, because VA, just face it, it is what it is. They write it up that's beneficial for VA. It's just the way it is. So you go in there and you're just dealing strictly with the VA system. I'm not saying I'm on guys who've gotten it, gotten 100%. But a lot of times that is who they know. They've went through a special organization. They've wrote Congress. Which I've done all those things. I've wrote Congress. Went to a special organization. I went through DAV. I went to DAV. I've been through Veterans of Foreign Wars Affairs, Veterans of Korea. I've been through all these different organizations, right? But even after all that, it wasn't until I went to an outside physician who specialized in VA claims, who was able to pinpoint, and he was able to connect the dots. He was able to directly connect this ailment to this particular disability. And he knew how to draw the lines and tell me, because of this ailment, you're able to get this percentage. Okay? All right, so, but if you can't do that, can't afford it, I understand. But if you go through the VA system, just expect them to be kind of biased on that standpoint. Right? So that's the evaluation system when they evaluate. The next is the evidence gathering stage, right? Where they do the eval and they start gathering the evidence of your medical records, your history of all your what you went through in the military, all your documentation. So they do the evidence. Now, this is the crazy part. This is where it gets really frustrating, if not already. It gets really frustrating. I told you, all my medical records was through VA. So you can imagine my shock when I get a letter from VA telling me that they was not able to get my medical records from VA. They literally contacted me and said, this department of the VA cannot receive or contact the medical department of the VA to receive your medical records. So therefore, what I had to do, I had to go in and physically, thank God, I was close by a facility where I can go pick my medical records up. I think they give back maybe a year or something like 2 years. But if you want it longer than that, then you have to order it, right? I think that's how it works. Don't quote me on that, right? But I know they don't give you a certain amount of they would actually print up for you. It's a certain time frame that they would actually print it up for you. But if you want it for your whole entire history, 10 years back or whatever, then you have to order it. So I had to actually order my medical record and then submit it in to VA. So I had to take it from this VA department and send it to this VA department. Crazy, right? But this is a step, some of the things you have to do. And I can't tell you how important it is to add your own information into that data, into that data, right? Case in point, what am I saying? So don't just take your medical records and then zip it to them and then wait for them to just say, okay, all right, oh, wait for my 100% disability. Take any documentations. Because I suffer from PTSD, I had a letter from my ex-wife saying how it impeded our relationship, my mood swings. I had a letter from my family members who can testify to the problems I was dealing with. I had letters from former shipmates to attest to the conditions in which we worked in, because one of my situation was my joint pains. We worked on ships and we was out in severe cold. So I had letters from my shipmates saying, yeah, this is what we did on a regular basis. We was out there for hours on end working in the severe cold, sun up, sun down, right? So in that evidence gathering process, you want to collect as much as you can from the VA as well as your own personal information. A letter from anyone you know, your wife, children, friends, shipmates, whoever, or former comrades, in the military, whoever will benefit you. Okay, so that is the evidence gathering process, and then once you have fully submitted that, then it goes into the review stage. The review stage where they're actually reviewing your claim. So this is, it's got a lot quicker. It's got a lot quicker in the last few years or so. Actually, I think Obama. Well, since Obama, he had something that he put in place to speed it up. It used to take years for the evaluation process. Now I'm telling you, it literally takes weeks. For them to actually tell you they either need further evidence, need some more evidence, or they actually come up with a decision, right? So when they come up with their decision, they're going to notify you, and then the beauty of it is, if it's an increase, you get the payment immediately. You get that payment immediately. Sometimes it's even in the middle of the month. And then this is the importance of that effective filing date that I told you about, making a phone call, because what they're going to do, they're going to pay you retro pay back from that day you originally filed, your effective filing date, right? They're going to pay you back from that date. So if it takes a year, 2 years to process your claim, and some people have extensive medical issues and medical records, so then it might take that long. But regardless, however long it takes, you're good, because they're going to pay you retro pay, right? Now, what if it's not a claim that, evaluation that you are satisfied with? Then you have 1 year to file a appeal. 1 year from the date that date is received. So the day they make the decision, you got 1 year to file an appeal for that date. And then there are plenty of attorneys out here for the appeal process, and even filing the VA claim. There are plenty of attorneys out here and I actually had to go to an attorney to get, the 100%, with this outside medical doctor and an outside attorney combined got me the 100%. So, and the way it works is, with the attorney, it's like they do lawsuits. They don't win, they don't get paid. So you're not out anything. But they're going to look and they're going to evaluate your claim. They're going to make sure you have what they consider valid claims. They're not just going to take on a case just for look at the merits of the case. So the only thing you want to focus on is what is going to lead VA to approving your claim. All right. So that's it. I hope, if anything else, any questions you have for me, you can leave it down in the comment. Please subscribe for more content. I plan on bringing more for us veterans out here. If I learn it and find out about it, I'll bring it to you. All right? God bless. Take care.